It's the KQ Morning Show. 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. It's Wednesday, July the 19th. Good morning. Whoo, baby. Big storm on the way in this morning. Candace saw lots of lightning.
Yeah, it was scary. There were big lightning bolts.
That's exciting. Don't you like lightning shows?
No, not when I'm driving. I'm scared.
Well, it's not going to. I mean, what do you think it's going to do?
I don't know.
I've been in a car that was struck by lightning. Nothing happens.
Yeah, nothing happens.
It just goes right to the tires.
Yeah, rubber.
Well, Gigi was really scared too, and so that probably made me scared. I don't
Right. Well, you may have noticed Chauncey Gorman not at work today. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just didn't want to get him wet in between the car and the door. I was like, nah, I don't want a wet dog in studio. But yeah, some real boomers going on overnight. A lot of lightning this morning. It's going to clear up by the end of the day. But we are so far blessedly removed from this heat wave that's just rocking many parts of the United States of America these days. And if you're wondering, like, oh, really? I didn't realize it was so hot everywhere. It's hot enough to crap your pants if you're on a Delta flight in Las Vegas. Okay, so two of our favorite things, bizarre weather-related stories and travel plans being interrupted, all combining in a head today. Multiple passengers on a Delta jet. It was in Vegas on Monday, about to take off for Atlanta, the Delta headquarters. That's a long flight. That's 3.5, 4 hours or so. Waiting to take off. It's 100 degrees outside, and the plane, sitting on the tarmac, did not have the air conditioning on. I'm sorry, sitting at the gate, did not have the AC. The pilot announced after leaving the gate that and waiting in line for takeoff, the pilot came out and said, hey, we're going to have to return to the gate. We've got multiple emergencies, multiple passengers passing out from the heat. Picture this flight. Being on a plane, it's so hot inside that people around you are passing out.
Yeah, it's a big
and some of those
can.
people had what is called the full release.
Oh, well.
So then you've got that smell. This is horrifying, man.
Were they leaving Las Vegas?
They were leaving Las Vegas.
Oh, well, I mean, it's not just the heat then, is it?
No. So on top of a hangover and a busted bank account, you're crapping yourself passed out.
Oh, from a full buffet.
Yeah, I mean, it's the full Monty for sure.
Now, it does get hot in Las Vegas every summer, right?
Yes, it does.
And there are planes that, they don't have a contingency for this?
I'm not sure why they did not have the air conditioning on, but they did. At one point, they dropped those oxygen masks.
Oh, jeez.
You haven't even taken off, and all of a sudden those things fall off, and they're saying, put yours on before you help the kid next to you, or whatever they say. So again, 111 degrees at the airport. Inside that plane, it was clearly more because you take 111 degrees, have that sun baking the outside of the plane, and then you have a bunch of people, over 100 people on that plane, breathing and sweating and being hungover, etc. That's a recipe for disaster.
Where's the hero that goes up and just hits the emergency release and that little tube comes down, or the
opens the door
slide, comes down, and we're all
Come on, exit row people, you missed your chance. That was your moment to be a hero.
Come on, let's get these people off the plane and get them over to the airport.
And here's another indicator of just how ridiculously hot it is right now. Target, our dear friends from right here in Minnesota, a long-standing policy has been briefly interrupted. They are now allowing employees who work inside the stores, not just the outside guys, inside stores, you can wear shorts to work.
But they have to be super tight.
Very, very tight.
Nice.
Yeah. They prefer the I believe in quotes it said painted on was the hope.
Yeah,
so,
nice.
Has this ever happened to you? This happened to me a couple times. You happen to wear a red shirt and khakis, and people think you work there, and they ask you questions. I've directed people to various aisles.
I've
feel
never
like
had
that wasn't
happen.
an accident with you, Tony.
Yeah.
All right.
No, but
wait a second. So Target doesn't have air conditioned?
No, they do, but those air conditioners are being pushed to the limits across. Maybe not so much here, but in other parts of the country, they're really struggling. El Paso, Texas. If it hits 100 degrees today, which every indication is that it will, that will make 34 straight triple-digit days. Woo. And in Phoenix, they're looking at 20 days where it's been at least 110. Now, I know that's the Southwest. That's the desert. You expect that. But 34 straight days, now that is unusual. That's not the norm. I had a 10. No, I'm sorry. I had an 18. Let me get this right. I had an 18-day run of 100 degrees in 2012 in Nashville. 18 straight days it hit 100. And that was beyond misery.
Yeah.
Absolutely just suffocating. And then you add the humidity on top of it. But it was truly pre-pandemic pandemic. Nobody was outside. The city just shut down. And then on the 19th day, it was literally like 77 degrees, and people were weeping walking around the neighborhood like, I've never been so happy in my life. I cannot imagine 34 straight days in that situation.
Did you see the old lady that baked the loaf of bread in her mailbox?
What?
Why?
Yeah, but just put a loaf, a lump of dough in there, went out, opened it up like an hour later, and had a loaf of bread come out.
That's not true.
It turns out she did stage it, but it was funny. It went viral for
pretty
a
good.
while. Yeah, not bad.
Sure it was.
Better than the egg on the hood of the car, right?
Oh my! Well, that's very true. Although also in Phoenix, a hospital has reported they have treated third-degree burns. People who have kids as well as elderly people who just think they can make it across the street in bare feet, and you can't without giving yourself third-degree burns.
They're not believers. If you're a believer, you can walk the coals. You've got to give your soul over to, what are we giving our soul over to these days? That thing.
Corporate malfeasance? I'm not really sure.
That's right. I'm giving my soul to Cumulus. I can walk across this hot pavement.
I've never had. I got to go back to what you said, Tony, about wearing khakis and a red shirt at Target, which makes me want to do that now.
Yeah.
I just want to hang out at Target dressed like that and record. And just we should do that for the show. We should just have you guys just follow me around with an iPhone and see how many people come up and go, "Excuse me, sir," without noticing. Like, why is that guy got long hair? What's going on here? He doesn't look like the average Target employee.
I think
Why does that old man have long hair working here? I've never had that happen at Target, but I've been just completely minding my own business, like at the grocery store, and someone comes up and asks me a question. I'm like,
oh my God,
what is it about my unshaven, unkempt everything? I'm wearing I look like I just woke up out of after falling asleep in a sauna. What about me? Well, why would you listen to a word I said about anything, much less where the cat food is?
Weird. What should I do with this money market fund, fella?
I'm the guy asking. It just happened to me last week at Home Depot. I had to go to Home Depot. To be fair, the guy was wearing a tool belt. I was like, he had tools all over him. I thought
I'd ask him anything.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't have the orange smock on, but I was like, hey, where's the... He's like, I don't work here. I'm like, but you look like you come here a lot. Could you just point aisle 186? Which one is it? But yeah, no, I did that also at a grocery store. I did it at Lund's not too long ago, too. And I asked the lady, blah, blah, blah. She goes, I don't work here. I'm like, okay, sorry. Wow. Yeah, you look like you should.
I had a weird moment, a celebrity moment with, what's her name? Married to, what's his name? Amy Grant. You know the singer Amy Grant?
Yeah.
But started off Christian singer, kind of crossed over, and
Christmas
she's married.
stuff,
She's married to the dude who's now in the Eagles. Who's a great, what's his name? Filling in for the Eagles, taking all the Glenn Fry parts. Great dude. Anyway, Amy Grant. She's a name of her own. We don't have to label her as someone's wife, even though she is someone's wife. I'm at the vet. I'm waiting. I have my cat in a little carrier, and I'm sitting in the waiting area at the vet office. And sitting across from me, I'm like, hey, that's Amy Grant, which is as far as I need to think about it, because I don't really know much about her other than who she is, and I recognize her, and I go, oh, that's Vince Gill. That's who she's married to.
Oh, yeah.
And I go, oh, that's Amy Grant. Huh. And she looks across at me, and as we kind of just do the nod as, well, she's got her cat in a cage, I got my cat in a cage, in a little carrier. You know what I mean? There's a vet office cat. There's a cat that lives there, this giant furry ball, and he's just on the counter, and he encounters all the animals. He's not afraid of anything. He lives at the vet's office. And this cat just comes walking down the aisle in between where I'm sitting and Amy Grant. And I look at him, and I'm like, hey, here comes that cat. Mm-hmm. She looks at him, looks up at me, and says, what kind of cat is that? And I said, oh, I don't know. And she goes, you don't know?
What?
And I go, are you talking about my cat or this cat on the floor? And she goes, that cat, points to the one on the floor. And I go, yeah, I don't know what kind of cat that is. And she gives me a look like, what? And I look at her, I go, why would you think I would know what kind of cat that is? And she literally goes, ugh, and turns away from me.
I don't.
Yeah,
That's it.
literally, that was it. I'm
am I
like,
missing?
and I said, do I work here? Do I look like I work here? And she wouldn't acknowledge me ever again. And I just talked to the side of her face. I said, do I look like I work here? And I was so
Surreal.
put off. I was like, hey, Amy Grant, back it down.
Right.
Yeah, I
What the
don't.
hell's wrong with you?
What a reaction anyway.
She was like so put out by me. I'm
Well,
like,
How weird.
I know.
I love
maybe
stuff
she
like
was.
that.
Maybe she was a little emotional having her own cat in there. Maybe. Yeah, that's just super weird. First of all, dog breeds. We all know about. You can name. Let's do the beat the toaster. I can name 5
Thank
dog
you.
breeds very quickly.
Thank you.
Name 5 cat breeds. Calico,
Brown.
Morris. There's
brown,
I
yes.
Hairless,
There's Morris,
Wet. Right, cartoon.
Garfield.
Yeah, cartoon cats.
I've had in my life. I've had 4 cats.
yeah.
I don't know. One of them was an actual breed. God bless you. You know,
Yeah.
Ginger, good run there. But like my cat Milo right now, I don't know. He's black and gray. I don't know what the hell he is. He's
I
a cat.
had a Maine Coon a few years
Oh,
ago.
what?
I've
It's
seen those.
gigantic.
Yeah. Those
Oh,
are
that's
those
stellar.
are
What do you
pretty
mean a
weird.
few years ago?
Yeah. It was a few years ago.
You had a cat a few years ago that I didn't know about?
No, it was before I knew you.
Oh, wow.
When Tony says a few years ago, it can go all the
Yeah.
way back
Yeah.
to the mid-60s.
Yeah, seriously. It was. Yeah, it was.
Hell,
It was
when
like
men are-
15.
When men our age say a few years ago, it could be the 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
It's the KQ Morning Show. 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. It is Wednesday, July the 19th. And, always a good time. Never a bad time to see a movie. Never a bad time to check out what's happening from Hollywood. So let's do it. Mike Evans, Hollywood Report. Good morning, Mike.
Hey, good morning. Good morning. Hey, have you got my book yet?
I did get your book. I've not yet opened it, but it's there, baby. Thank you.
Good. We have 2 love nugget scoops.
Okay. We're all ears.
I've been saying for a long time that Prince Harry and Meghan's marriage will never last.
Wow.
And last night, Radar Online and the New York Post both reporting the 2 are talking about taking some time apart.
Well, that's how that goes. You know, they say opposites attract, but they don't stay together very long,
Exactly.
generally speaking. And by the way, simply put, what on earth do they have in common? They grew up on different planets because anybody not named Windsor grew up on a different planet. It's got nothing to do with being American. It's got nothing to do with being an actress. It's got nothing to do with being mixed race. They're from different planets. There was no way in the world. If Charles and Diana couldn't make it, what chance do these knuckleheads have?
Exactly. The other big scoop is that Joe Manganiello really loved Sofia Vergara dearly and tried to make the marriage work out. And friends say Sofia loved Joe. But here's the problem, Steve. Sofia Vergara just couldn't stop drinking, partying, constantly getting on a plane and flying all over the world without even telling him. The 51-year-old hottie just couldn't stop acting like a 21-year-old college girl. And maybe she just got wrapped up in all the fame, success, and wealth, and she preferred that life, I guess.
So she's acting like an actor, is what you're telling me.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
Enjoying
okay,
herself, yeah.
cool. Wow.
Well, we talked about some divorce. Let's talk about a marriage. Anstead is an English television personality, car designer. He has one of the most successful TV shows in England called For the Love of Cars.
Okay.
Ant and Renee Zellweger have been dating a couple of years, and they're getting married. Renee Zellweger, you might remember, has had relationships with Jack White, Bradley Cooper, Irish musician Damien Rice, was once engaged to Jim Carrey, and, she was married to, was she engaged to Jim Carrey? She was married to Kenny Chesney for, 3 days?
Just a few days, and if memory serves, she filed for divorce under the auspices of fraud.
Yeah. I think
Yeah,
Kenny found out she was a woman.
That's how that goes.
It always looks like she just smelled somebody's farts, doesn't it? Her face kind of wrinkled up.
It's a little wrinkly, sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
During his last day of testimony, Kevin Spacey teared up on the witness stand. His trial should end tomorrow. I still say I think it's going to be guilty. We'll wait and see.
I can't imagine there's a jury on earth that would find him personable or, relatable on any level.
Agreed. And here we go. Early movie review opening tomorrow at midnight. Barbie.
Woo!
Yes.
This is a tough one for me. While it's witty, it's funny, It's fun. It's campy, but it does have a few flaws. It gets a bit silly. Character development is a bit lacking, but it's very entertaining. And director Greta Gerwig is just fabulous as she maneuvers us through this film. And this may shock you, but I would not be surprised if Ryan Gosling gets an Oscar nomination because he steals the show. He is fabulous. The film has a lot of heart, and certainly it is the most unique movie of the year. It is PG-13, a little under 2 hours, 3 stars.
I'm on Team Greta always. Make no mistake about it.
She's fabulous.
Yeah.
Later this week, a review of Oppenheimer, maybe tomorrow, the man who invented the atom bomb. But today, I want to share with you a little 411 on the star, Cillian Murphy, the British actor who gained fame to the fabulous Pinky Blinders.
Yep.
So here's the scoop. Cillian is generally considered the biggest whinging actor alive. Whinging. That's a character flaw that makes a person complain about everything constantly to the point that people don't want to be around him. He even complains that he's rich and famous. At home, no internet, no phone, no TV. During the promotion of this movie before the strike, all the stars were there, but he very rarely would say anything. I'd never heard of that before. Whinging? Have you heard of that before?
I've heard it's a British term. Yeah, I've heard it. I also listened to him on Mark Maron's podcast, and he came across as everything exactly opposite of how you just described him. For what it's worth. Just throwing it out there.
Maybe he had a script that day. I don't know. And odds and ends, who the hell are these people that are going to Death Valley to experience the 130, 135-degree temperatures?
I don't know, man. Maybe the sneaker cult didn't have any new memberships available, so you know. Lot of nut jobs out there in Southern Cal, brother, as you well know.
Now, how about getting a pellet gun and shooting yourself in the foot and experience that too? I mean, works. Probably just as enjoyable.
As long as you're at it.
Well, there you go. Hey, have a great day. We'll talk to you tomorrow. See you.
Sounds good, Mike. Thanks. The Mike Evans Hollywood Report.
Just driving me nuts.
Yeah.
Oppenheimer. Who the hell is that?
Open sesame.
2 P's in there, brother. That, and he is the father of the atomic age and probably the single most important person, along with Albert Einstein, of the last century or two.
It's Einstein.
Oppenheimer.
Oppenheimer.
Yeah, Einstein.
Oppenheimer. Paul Schrader, a screenwriter, very famously known for writing Taxi Driver, one of the great films of the 20th century. Also wrote American Gigolo, Bringing Out the Dead, Affliction. I mean, he's one of those guys. He co-wrote Raging Bull. I mean, he's a real deal. His words after seeing Oppenheimer, the finest film of the 21st century so far.
I'm nervous to see it. I've read the book that it's based on. I wouldn't say I'm a fan of Oppenheimer, just fascinated with that whole atomic age thing and how it happened. So the book that the director based the movie on, so I've read it, watched some documentaries on Oppenheimer, old Opie, as we used to call him.
Opie.
And so I'm a little nervous to see it because everyone thinks it's the greatest movie that's ever been made. So I think I'm going to sit this one out.
Well, you know, it's important to just clear your mind.
No, I can't. That's impossible.
All right. Well then let's just move on.
But I'm going to listen to you guys talk about it. So I hope it's all of that. You know, it's what he deserves, especially after the good old USA stuck it up with a red hot poker.
The one thing I can say, I'm not going to defend well, I guess I am defending Oppenheimer in that one thing that he has said made sense to me, which is, well, if I hadn't done it, someone else would have. He thought, well, you know, I mean, okay, it's coming. Who's going to run this? Who's going to make it happen? Yeah. It would have been me, or it would have been some guys on the wrong side of history. Of course, they all got it eventually, nuclear secrets being what they were. But I'm looking forward to seeing it. That's all there is to it. Because you know what? I love nothing more than getting lost in Cillian Murphy's baby blues.
Oh, they're haunting.
He is something else, isn't he?
Kid yourself. If I could go back to Birmingham in the 20s and be a Peaky Blinder. All right, never mind. Let's look back for real. On this day, July 19th, 1946, a very famous moment in baseball history, an umpire in Boston. The Chicago White Sox are in town. I'm sorry, it was a home game. They're hosting the Boston Red Sox. The Boston Red Sox beat the White Sox 9-2. All 14 players and coaches on the Chicago bench were ejected by umpire Red Jones. In the middle of a game, there's a blow-up. He throws every member of the dugout out of the game. Okay? Now, a Chicago pitcher came in high and tight and a pitch to Ted Williams. Jones, the umpire, warned the pitcher, and then somebody from the dugout started squawking, making fun of him, and called him a meathead. He wasn't sure who did it, so he just ejected the first guy he looked at. The guy goes, I didn't do it, ump. Guy leaves. Another guy starts heckling him. He throws out 3 more players. The heckles continue. He clears the dugout because he doesn't know who's doing it. No one knows for sure. Legend is it was actually a ventriloquist in the stands.
Come on.
It's one of the all-time baseball legends. It's a fan who could throw his voice and not move his lips, and he caused the entire dugout to be ejected.
Baseball can be entertaining.
It sure can.
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS. Zep, Tony, Candace, and Steve Gorman are the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show for Wednesday, July 19th. Ozzy Osbourne, Mama, I'm Coming Home. Ozzy Osbourne, Candace Wheeler's dad. Who knew?
That'd be awesome.
Who knew? Wouldn't it be awesome?
I'd rather him be my grandpa, actually. I feel
Well,
like he'd be a good grandpa.
He would be a great grandpa, and he'd call the show all the time, and he'd send you things like chestnuts for Christmas, love, and
Yes.
things like that. You want to get together for a hot toddy? It'd be great.
Yeah, it would. It's
He'd
not.
show up early in the morning. I've got bangers and mash for everyone. And then we wouldn't be hungry. It'd be awesome.
But if you were related to him, he wouldn't be cool. Well, I guess if he was your grandfather, he'd be cool. No one thinks their parents are cool, though.
That's true.
Grandpa Ozzy would be pretty awesome. So I guess no one knew that he was your dad or granddad because that's not true. But there are other things that are always fascinating to be reminded that we don't know nearly as much as we think we do. On the list of things where you find yourself going, don't, the one that always jumps out to me, and I don't care to Google this and be told that I'm wrong, but someone mentioned this to me once and it blew my mind, and I've just assumed it's true, which is that Arby's, the roast beef fast food chain, Arby's means RB, as in roast beef. It's a phonetic. Arby's roast beef. I know what how did I not know that?
I thought it was the owners, or it stood for America's Roast Beef, Yes, Sir. Seriously.
Really
That's
thought
actually
that
pretty
one
great.
out.
Yeah.
That was a big deal here, wasn't it? Because, there was when Arby's came here, it was either started here. What's the old Arby's connection to Minnesota? But, I'd heard that.
I like America's Roast Beef, Yes, Sir, way better than just simply roast beef.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that works for me. How about this? This is something I didn't know. Birds don't live in nests. Nests are just where they keep their eggs. Birds just sleep in trees.
Yeah, it's not a house.
Is that true?
I don't know, because I
thought
had
it was a
birds.
house.
I had birds living in my there's this old space heater where I'm living right now, and there
Okay.
was birds in it all winter.
All right.
And I just didn't do anything about it because my roommate said that she was gonna kill them, and I was
Right.
freaked out. But then my hot neighbor came over and he got them out. We filled it up, but yeah, it was weird. They were so loud. They were just like banging around in there all the time. It sounded
Yeah.
like babies, moms, uncles.
Yeah.
Right. Well, okay. Does that so?
That's what they lay eggs in there. Then they have the babies. Then when they're old enough, that old thing where they kick them out of the nest and then they fly, and then the nest is abandoned.
So that's it. So they just leave. So a proper nest. It's only so once the babies are out, the bird doesn't return there just to lay down and take a rest. I would use that nest like a hammock once the eggs are hatched and the babies are gone.
Wouldn't you? I mean, I'd sneak back there, but no.
Okay, here's one. Men's Warehouse.
Mm-hmm.
It's a pun, as in it's spelled as in something you wear. Now, if you say, "Hey, I'm going over to the warehouse," that's W-A-R-E house. But Men's Warehouse is W-E-A-R house, as in we wear clothes here at the warehouse. You come to this house to wear something.
Oh, you knew that.
It's a play on words. No, I did know that, but a lot of people apparently don't.
Oh.
Men's
No.
Warehouse. See? I mean, I don't know. These things are fascinating to me. Here's one I never knew. When you talk about film, they say, how much footage did you get? Footage. That goes back to the fact that film is measured in feet.
Yeah, I guess I didn't know that. Yeah, I did not know that one.
If you're not learning, you're not living. That's what I'm saying.
I was just reading the other day. Did you know that Robert Kraft obviously owns the New England Patriots?
Yep.
But he was able to buy that team because the prior owner went teats up due to financing a Jackson 5 tour in 1984.
Yeah, I did. I have heard that story. It's crazy.
Yeah, the Jackson 5 tour in '84 sunk him. He had to sell the Patriots, rather, and Robert Kraft was right there to scoop them up.
Let me tell you something. If you go broke on a tour featuring Michael Jackson in 1984, you are in the wrong business.
Was Michael part of it?
If it's the Jackson 5, he was. If it was just the Jacksons or something, maybe not. But
They get old Joe out there.
the Jackson 5 touring, yeah. Michael was still doing Jackson 5 tours in the 80s.
Was he?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Yeah.
This is if it's
before he went
1984, that's post-Thriller. I mean, come on, man.
I mean, right, exactly. That's why I don't remember it. You'd think you'd know post-Thriller if Michael Jackson went back out with the gang, but I guess I probably wasn't paying attention to much back then. I did read this just last night before I went to bed and sat there and thought about it too long. That if you eat an entire human being, all the meat off a human being, you'll take down about 81,500 calories. And they get you by, I guess, for a few months. You could survive for a few months off an entire human being.
Well, that changes everything.
Yeah.
I gotta
it's
rethink
doable.
this cannibalism thing. That's okay. If you go a couple months on a body, then hang on.
Yeah.
What part would you go to first?
I knew you were
had
going to go there.
consume?
Right to the ass, just like a hog.
ya?
Yeah, that's where the best meat is, I think.
Are you ready to have your minds blown?
Yeah.
I got one for you. Some stripper poles actually rotate. They're not fixed in place. So when you see the stripper or the dancer spinning around, it's not because she's got Cirque du Soleil core strength.
Yeah.
The pole itself is spinning.
Oh, God.
Doesn't that kind of blow the whole mystique?
It's a higher end joint that has the revolving pole.
Yeah, I
apparently,
couldn't do
I've
it.
spent a hell of a lot more time at strip joint. What did you think? They greased them up? mean,
I
those
just
things
thought kind of. I thought there
Yeah.
was something there that I thought they were just.
How could they hold on to it if it was greased up? Like I said, I guess I spent too much time there. I noticed the hand wasn't revolving around the pole.
It's just one of those things I hadn't put any thought into. I just
Yeah.
assumed it's way more impressive than it is.
This sucks. I mean, I'd have to take like a Dramamine before I got on stage.
Wow, man.
You could
Watch
be
yourself.
the vomiting stripper.
Yeah, I think they're all pretty trashed by the time they get up there.
Here's one that I just came across. By the way, this is absolutely one I learned just a few months ago for the first time. Percentages are reversible. I never knew this. Now, granted, I never paid attention in math. 25% of 10 is the same as 10% of 25.
I didn't know that.
And you take two
Damn.
numbers, you just reverse the percentages, and you get the same answer.
Stop it.
Freaky.
Yeah, no, it's weird. And I did it, and it was right, and now I feel like, man, how have I made it this far in life?
I don't like it.
I don't like that at
Yeah,
all.
when would that come up anyway?
I slept during fractions, and I certainly slept during the part where they explain compounding interest.
I go blank. I'm missing a moment in time when you started talking about that fact. Then I have a blackout period to when Candace just said something. That's how
Wow.
I can't fractions. I don't understand. Me no understand.
Okay, so how about this one? I never knew this, but a cricket's chirps can tell you how hot it is outside. Did you just make that noise?
Yes, I did. I'm very proud of that
Damn.
skill.
What?
Between
on.
Candace's loon and your crickets, I've got to come up with something.
Give me that again.
Wow.
Holy smokes.
I love to
That's
do that
hot.
in theaters and comedy clubs.
That would be funny.
You're the second person
Oh.
I've ever known that could do that. I had a
Really?
drum tech named Noodles for years. Great guy, John Weber. Noodles could do that, and you're only the second person I've ever known that could do it.
I want to call up Noodles and just make that sound.
We played a show in Lyon, France, on our fourth album tour. The fourth album tour was a bit of a departure, meaning we were high and jammed the whole time and alienated everybody that ever loved our band. And at a gig in Lyon, France, and I remember the venue, it's called the Transborder. The audience, after like the third song, the song ended, and they were just looking at us like, "What are you doing?" And what I thought was a magical moment of comedy, our singer Chris took his microphone, which was affixed to on a stand, and he held it up and he put it over my shoulder to my drum tech's mouth, and into the microphone he did that cricket noise. And I was like, holy
That's
crap,
wonderful.
we're having fun ruining our career.
Yeah, well, I
That's
mean, if you're
funny
going to
as hell.
go down with a smile on your face, right?
Ooh, there's those loons.
That's Candace.
But
I just heard a loon over the weekend, and that is
Okay.
eerie.
All right. Hold on. I got to
Thank
back away
you.
from the mic. Let me try to add to the animal kingdom here. I'm trying to do an
pretty
elephant.
good.
Is that-
Mastodon or elephant?
That's pretty good.
Your
Very
pick.
good.
It's your pick. Zep, what do you got? Okay,
I
we've
used
got
to-
a poor elephant, we've got an amazing loon, and a dead on the money cricket.
Oh, I used to talk to the cows when I was a kid, but it's been a long time. But it's not going to sound like a cartoon cow, but they sit out there and go, No, I can't even. Now it sounds like something from Young Frank.
That's man. We're all right. We're 4 for 4.
It's not bad, man.
Talk about
no.
who knew. Who knew we had this kind of talent in the room?
Right. What are we doing on the radio?
Back to crickets. Check this out.
Yeah.
Now, this is according to the Library of Congress. Crickets adjust their signature sounds according to the temperature. Long story short, if you count how many times a cricket chirps in 15 seconds, add 37, and you basically get the temperature in Fahrenheit degrees.
That's fascinating.
So get your stopwatch,
All right,
count
Boy
the
Scouts.
chirps in 15 seconds, add 37, and that's the temperature outside.
If I go out at night and do the cricket noise, almost every time they stop.
Of course they
serious?
They
do.
will stop making the noise. They go, "Who's this guy?"
Yeah. Well,
No,
you got-
they recognize an infiltrator.
Yeah, like when a stranger walks into the bar, a small town.
Yeah.
Everybody just,
Everything
the music
stops.
stops.
No,
and-
you might as well have a sign that says like, FBI walking into that Klan meeting. You know what I mean?
He's
Like,
a narc.
you guys
Yeah.
want to tell me what the rules are? Like, no. Hey, Candace, I think we have a caller. Is that correct?
Steve from Minneapolis.
Steve from Minneapolis. Good to see you. Good to hear your voice this morning, sir. How are you?
Great.
What do you got for us?
I'm still
Well, I
working
used
on
to
it.
deal drugs, and the half of a quarter is the same as a quarter of a half.
Are
That's
you
a good-
high
Oh.
right now?
No, I've been sober for 66 months.
I'm sorry to hear. I mean, congratulations.
Wow. So wait, half of a quarter is the same as a
Yep,
quarter of a
which is an
half. Yeah,
Which is
you
an
know
eight.
what? Whatever it takes to get the math to make sense. If it's a word problem about a train leaving Reading, Pennsylvania, or if it's drug sales, whatever it takes, it's always worth it in the end.
Yeah.
Worked for me.
Well, congrats on your sobriety, man. Keep
Yeah.
it up. That's it's hard work, but it's certainly worthwhile.
Drive on.
All right,
Interesting.
That is whatever. Like I said, seriously, whatever it takes to cement those rules
Right.
into the brain, it's worthwhile. I'm still kind of freaking out over this whole cricket thing. I've never known.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
The cricket. Who knew? By the way, Pennsylvania misspelled on the Liberty Bell. That was a big who knew for me. I didn't know
Is that true?
Yeah, the two N's in there on Pennsylvania, on the back end of Pennsylvania.
Finally, here's my last who knew for right now anyway. Cruise ships all have one thing you might not expect.
What?
True story. Morgues.
Oh, yeah.
There's a morgue on every giant cruise ship.
Oh my God.
Yeah, they-
Yes, indeedy.
You don't want to wander into that by accident.
And by the way, there's room in the morgue for more than just a few. Like there's room for dozens, just to be safe.
Oh, yeah. They're during the pandemic. Weren't a couple of them keeling off on the boats? They had like 10 or something like that.
There's a lot, yeah. So just if you're booking a cruise, don't be surprised if you're looking at the fine print. Maybe there's something about morgue occupancy.
You'd think they could just just pitch them over the side, right? I mean, a burial
You've
at
got
sea.
that damn
Yeah.
ocean.
That's I don't do cruises, but I like that fact because what if someone did die? You don't want them putting it in with the food.
Well, of course. By the
Yeah.
way, it makes perfect sense. It's kind of like the old Philadelphia Eagles games. They had a court in the stadium to deal with
jail.
all the drunken, violent offenders.
Yeah.
There was literally a judge in-house at Eagles home games for years. True story. Also, speaking of which, throwing bodies over the ship, more people drown in freshwater than saltwater, and it's not even close on a yearly basis. Most drownings, bathtubs.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Bathtubs, swimming pools, and hot tubs. Rivers are on there. Ocean, like saltwater, way down the list.
Fountains.
Yeah, it's like most car accidents happen within like a mile of your home.
Yeah.
Most drownings happen. You're not in the ocean, generally speaking. So, yeah, get back in. I mean, the sharks are a thing, but you're not going to drown.
Right.
The box jellyfish, yeah, that'll take you down, but you're not going to drown. I mean, you will drown, but it's because the jellyfish got you, not because you're just a poor swimmer.
And with that, so we'll drive on. Powerball jackpot hit the big $1 billion. Time to start really getting serious about your daydreaming there. Also, we've talked about things falling out of the sky. Where was it? Down in Burnsville or something like that. Some poop came out of the sky recently while someone was in line at Starbucks and just pelted their car, covered their car in poop.
Oh, man.
More stuff falling out of the air and lands on a Chicago house this time. We'll be talking about that at 7:30 as well. Hang tight.
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. It is Wednesday, July the 19th. I made a bit of a mistake yesterday in regards to last night. I'm aware of it. The only thing I can say in my defense is I did not make the same mistake about a year ago, and the mistake is I did not take advantage of the opportunity to go see Ann Wilson last night.
Oh, yeah.
Saw her last year, and it was astounding. Candace Wheeler, however, the smartest cookie in the room, did take in the Ann Wilson show last night.
Yeah, it was amazing. She sounded so amazing. I've seen Heart a couple times, and I was a little, like, what is this going to be like? It's her band, but it was beautiful, and it was in a very nice, intimate, venue, the Pantages. It was beautiful in there, and we were so close. It's crazy, and met some really nice listeners, Kathy and Jeff, sitting next to them, and they're kind of going through a hard time right now, so they really, that concert meant a lot to them, and it was great to meet them, and I apologize, I did ditch them because I wanted to dance, so I went to the back of the theater to dance.
And you got kicked out for taking a selfie. That's a shame.
Yep, I took a selfie right during Love Alive, and it was really rude.
Yeah.
Now, were you doing that weird hip thrust dance you do around here, or were you dancing a little bit more appropriately for public consumption?
She had the twerk going. Barracuda right here. Maybe my favorite rock voice of all time. When people say favorite rock voice of all time, I just immediately say Ann Wilson because that's a great answer, but I don't know who has a greater voice.
There's no one better.
Right.
I mean, that's the thing.
Right.
Everyone's got their own personal pantheon where it's like, okay, if you're in that room, you're just as good as anyone can be, and she's absolutely in that room in my mind.
But to hit the notes and that power that she brings, it shouldn't be in a human throat, but there she is. She has it. Well, I'm glad that her solo band, I'm not shocked because she knows so many great musicians. We had a chance to talk to her during the pandemic, and she was doing that recording thing. Steve, did you ever do any of that recording where all the musicians are in a different city, in a different studio, but they're recording together? I
actually haven't done that. I mean, I've flown in a drum track where I was the only guy not there, but everyone else was together. But everyone in a different place, I've not been a part of any of those sessions.
Yeah.
But a dear friend of mine, the great Tom Bukovac, the greatest musician I've ever known, was Ann's musical director for a few years and her lead guitarist. He's no longer with her. He's doing other stuff, but nothing but the highest of praise from him for her. Just her every day she no airs. She just gets up, goes to work, puts her shoulder to the wheel, loves to rock out. Ann Wilson Ann and Nancy are both like godmothers to the whole grunge scene. All the Seattle bands that blew out in the 90s, had relationships with all of them as elder statesmen of the Seattle rock scene. At a time when Heart, it's interesting, was putting out those big power ballads with the soft lens MTV videos. Like the record label was like, doll it up, ladies. It's time to be soft rock sex goddesses. And all the rockers like myself were off of Heart then, going, oh, they've sold out. They're doing corporate rock. They were advising and being very much big sisters, cool. Let me show you how this works to all the younger guys from grunge. People would think, oh, those bands have nothing to do with Heart. That's not true at all. They've been huge. All those bands were beneficiaries of Ann and Nancy, looking out for them, helping them out. They've always been very close. Yeah. I played Seattle a bunch, and Ann would just turn up at the gig like, what's up? Yeah. She just wants to hang out with rock bands and see your show and be cool. She's awesome.
Yeah, she was talking to us from Seattle. And she talked about a lot of those bands. In fact, Duff McKagan was playing with her as well, who's not grunge. That's,
but he's from Seattle.
But he's from Seattle. And he plays, actually, with a lot of those, Mike McCready and a lot of those guys, Pearl Jam, out of that whole Seattle scene. And by the way, Duff McKagan can throw together a solo album. Blew me away. Had no idea. I'm talking about the bass player for Guns N' Roses.
Right.
Yeah, you have no idea that he's actually a hell of a talented songwriter and musician.
No. My first okay, you know what? I'm going to two things here. Duff McKagan, fun fact. a spectacularly wealthy man.
Oh, I
not
had no
just
idea.
because of Guns N' Roses, but because he bumped into an old high school classmate who was investing in this thing called NASDAQ in the late 80s, literally at a bar in Chicago. Dude, I haven't seen you since high school. Dude, what are you doing now? I'm in Guns N' Roses. Holy crap, I'm in tech stocks. And Duff wrote the song Patience. Duff and Axl wrote Patience.
Yeah,
Cool.
Doesn't surprise
So
me.
Duff was
Great
getting
song.
giant checks in 1989 from that one song alone. He was getting these huge, and an old high school buddy said, "Man, I'm into all these things. Duff said, well, if I sent you money, you would invest it." He said, "Sure." And so Duff sent the guy, and I'm hearing this secondhand from a member of Duff's world, his tech at the time. So Duff, and by the way, other people have since corroborated this.
Yeah.
Duff sent the guy, couple of mil, and the dude put it into like Microsoft and Starbucks and stuff like that.
Never heard of him.
And when Duff left the band, he was far and away the wealthiest guy in Guns N' Roses.
No kidding.
Yeah, Duff
Normally you hear about,
took some friends to Paris for his birthday in a 757 once. It was like
Holy
that kind of money.
crap. Wow.
Hundreds of mil.
Yeah, no doubt.
Good being Duff.
You hear those stories in the rock world, but normally they've been embezzled.
Yeah.
Someone stole the money
and for
from
the
them.
record, just the nicest guy on the planet.
Yeah, that was my experience.
Back to Heart, my
Yes.
first concert ever, Heart.
Cool.
Oh,
1978.
damn good first
It
concert.
really was, and I didn't know how encores worked, and so we left going, I can't believe I didn't play Barracuda. And literally hand on the exit door in the concourse, and a crowd roars, and we're like, why is everyone still cheering? Me and my two buddies, it didn't occur to us, like, why are we the only ones leaving? We just thought everybody was going to stand and cheer for a while and then leave. And then the whole crowd roars again, and we're like, what's going on? And then we're like, oh my God, they're back? What do you mean? They left the stage and came back? What a bizarre thing.
Running back.
And we ran back in, and then we had that quick thing of, let's go. And then, wait, but this isn't where we were sitting. Do we run all the way back to our section, or do we just run? And we were like in the upper deck at Rupp Arena in Lexington, and we just ran out and stood there and rocked out like everyone else.
Yeah.
And but hey, live and learn. Encores, what a cool thing. It's like,
Yeah, I'm over them. I don't need an encore anymore. I'd just like to leave. Just finish and let me leave.
I like the
That's your
gigs when you're
motto.
running out of time and you just go, hey, instead of doing that thing where we're going to pretend that we're done and come back, we'll just play through.
Wait, are you talking about your love life? Just finish and get out? Candace.
Yeah, I gotta wake up early.
I absolutely love it.
Get
I've
it
got a
over
buddy
with.
that will only now go to shows about halfway through. What time do they start? Well, they're starting at 9 o'clock. All right, I get there about 10.
Really?
Yeah, he goes, the encore is the best part. A lot of bands will just save that best, and then they do like a little medley, and then you get that, the anthem at the end. He goes, I don't want to sit through the new music in the middle. So he shows up about an hour late. He's old. He's been at it for a while.
I can see it.
All
I can
right.
see it. I saw The Cure a few months ago, and the second encore was just all the hits.
Yeah.
But the whole show was great. I really enjoyed
Right.
that whole thing. But yeah, only because their new music sounds just like their old music in all the best ways. But yeah, when you're going to see the band and they're just like, here's another one from our new release, and you're like, God, dude, seriously.
Yeah.
I get it. And having been in one of those bands, here's a new one from our new release, like just watching people's faces from the drum kit, it's brutal. Like, you're not really going to play that one, the slowest song you've ever recorded.
Yeah,
You're
I
really going to
usually
play
feel
it
that
live?
way. But Anne, when she played her music that I didn't know with her band, it was mesmerizing. So different strokes.
Like you said, smaller room, a theater with Ann Wilson in there. That's it's just come out and a cappella it out. It's fine with me.
Yeah, and there was a nice little intermission. That was nice. Got a little cocktail. You did a little potty break.
Potty break. I always hate when you think there's going to be another encore and then the lights come up.
Yeah.
And people are just still like, oh,
Right, when they're
damn it.
Then some people want to keep it going. No,
Yeah.
we'll come back out. No, they're done.
No.
We're leaving.
They're done. They're already gone from the building. That's the Stones figured it out a long time ago. When you walk off stage, start shooting off fireworks, and everybody will just wait, and then we beat the traffic. They're long gone before those fireworks end up. Make no mistake. I saw Ringo Starr a few years ago in Philadelphia, And he says good night, and the band is still playing, and he is in a vehicle already gone. Seriously, he leaves first, and the band is wrapping up a Give Peace a Chance jam out, and he is gone.
Headed to Arby's.
He's going to get that beef and cheddar. Without the beef, just the cheddar. Hey, by the way, here's some cheddar for you. How about $1 billion of cheddar? The Powerball, it's up to $1 billion. There's a Powerball drawing tonight. $1 billion. Along the way, as these jackpots grow, if you go to the actual Powerball website, and by the way, Mega Millions, the redheaded stepchild of giant money, they're at $720 million, and no one cares. I don't care about the Mega Millions. I want the power. We're so Powerball. I always imagine winning the Mega Millions and being like, I only won the Mega Millions. Yeah. I wanted power, but I got Mega. It's not nearly as cool. I'll take $720 million from Mega Millions, but the Powerball's $1 billion. But if you go to the website, it'll show you, it'll say no one won the jackpot. But like last night, I believe like 5 or 6 different people won the thing where they got all 5 numbers but not the Powerball. Yeah. Those are each worth $1 million. And if you bought the Powerball Power Play, they're worth a factor of 2, 3, 4, or 5. So there's like 7 people won $4 million yesterday. Like
pay off the truck.
The Mega Millions was I think that was the one that was 4. Like people are winning tons of money. Imagine that. Like imagine if tomorrow if I came in and go, hey, let me see your numbers, dude. You just won $4 million, and you know people would be like, but I wanted the billion. Mm-hmm. But $4 million after taxes, what's that? $2.5 million. You're rolling, man.
I quickly get over not winning the big one. Although, what are the odds? Someone's got to get out an app and figure the odds for me. What if you won? I mean, just let your imagination go. The Powerball and the Mega Millions.
Oh, to win both?
What if you won both?
Yeah. I think the only option you have is to run for president.
Well,
and that would be your platform.
You could afford it then, yeah.
No, literally. Can you imagine that? Like, I'm announcing my candidacy for the president. What's your platform? I won the Mega Millions and the Powerball in consecutive days. So I'm clearly the guy. I need to make a lot of decisions. Look how lucky I am. It's all going to work out. I've got so much money. Let me be your president.
Oh, my gosh. I would do it part-time. Can I just do it on the weekends or like one day a month or something?
I think I would announce my candidacy. I would announce that I'm opening a major film studio and a record label.
All right.
You could spend it on really cool commercials for yourself.
It'd be the best commercials. The best commercials. That CGI a bald eagle, like flying me around like a hang glider, but it's a giant eagle, and I just roll in, and then I just get but by the end of the commercial, everyone's hugging and friends, and we're having like a drum circle, and this is the America that I envision. It'd be great. I've never been a part of a drum. When I see a drum circle, I run like it's on fire, but that's beside the point.
No doubt.
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS. Zep, Tony, Candace, and Steve Gorman are the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. It is Wednesday, July the 19th. Good morning. Friday, July the 21st, we are going to be rocking out on the KQRS Rock the Boat 80s party. That bad boy's been sold out for quite a while, but all is not lost if you want to join us. We're about to give away a couple of tickets. We have 2 callers on the horn as I speak. They're going to play a game. We're going to enjoy it. Tony, what is today's game, sir?
It's just a ton of fun. By God, you can't argue that. Yep. We're going to dangle tickets to the sold-out 92 KKRS 80s Rock the Boat Party on Friday. So not only are we playing Band Not a Band, we're focusing on 80s bands.
Nice.
How about that? Some are still going strong. Some are memories, but they all either formed or are commonly associated with their fame from the 80s. So are these actually 80s bands, or are they made up? You decide. Band Not a Band. Let's play.
I'm ready to rock this. Of course, that means nothing because it's all about our 2 contestants rocking it. Candace, who is caller contestant number 1?
Barry from New Prague.
Barry, good morning.
Good morning, guys.
You a fan of 80s music, sir?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. All right, then. Well, we're going to play a little band, not a band. And if you guess correctly more often than your competition, you will be joining us on the Rock the Boat 80s party. Good luck, sir. Tony, take it away.
All right, sir. Band, not a band. 80s band, not a band. Barry. Pet Shop Boys.
Band.
Wow, without hesitation.
Correct.
Well played, sir.
Next
one for
up,
one.
Bananarama.
Band.
Wow. Barry's mocking you, Tony.
Band.
Quizmaster Tony Lee is no match for Barry so far.
All right, take this, Barry. Hungry Man Dinner.
Not a band.
Not a band.
What
What the heck
what
is
is-
going on?
That was just fun for me.
is it? A band or not a band? Is Barry
It
correct?
is not a band. He is correct.
Barry is 3 for 3. Whew.
Next up, Bear. Malibu Mitch.
Not a band.
Very good. It is
Wow.
not.
Someone got up awful early this morning.
How
His
about I have a
name
buddy?
is Barry, not a band.
Yeah. Although I have a buddy named Mitch, loves to listen. You have a new nickname, Mitch, Malibu.
Yeah. Is he tan?
Yeah, he does rock a pretty good tan,
Well,
I
then
think.
it's appropriate.
All right.
Go to it.
Nice.
Call him up and tell him. Next up is the Smiths.
Gosh, so common. I will say band.
Nope. Oh,
Band.
A common name, an uncommon band. Make no mistake.
Next up, Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five.
Definitely a band.
Wow. 6 for 6.
It's like a jungle sometimes. It makes me wonder why I keep them going under. Very good.
Yeah.
Barry, Harmonica, and Chandler. Harmonica and Chandler.
Oh gosh, I would. Let's go. Not a band.
Wow.
Call. And your last one, Spud Webb Slam Dunk.
Not a band.
Good job.
Wow. Ocho for Ocho. Wheat for wheat. Barry went 8 for 8, ladies and gentlemen.
Wow.
Not easy to do.
My man woke up on the 80s side of the bed this morning. Kind of like when I told Candace she woke up on the bitch side of the bed this morning earlier in the show.
Yeah,
You were
everyone
yelling
heard it.
You were yelling at Tony, and I just wanted to say I apologize for saying that.
I like that, though.
Sorry, you're the best,
Yeah,
Candace.
Steve, just stay out of it. You don't know how me and Tony interact, okay?
All I know is Barry just ran the table. Good God Almighty! What a way to start the competition, Barry. Well done, sir. Sit tight while your competition dials in. Candace, who is caller number 2?
Caller number 2 is Jeff from Hastings.
Jeff. Good morning, sir.
It was a good morning till Barry went 8 for 8.
I got confidence in you, Jeff. You sound like a man of his time. Were the 80s good for you musically?
Yes.
Yeah, see, there you go. Barry ran the table. I see no reason why you can't do the same. Let's remember, most importantly, to enjoy ourselves. Tony, take it away.
That's good advice. All right, your first one is Class Dimwit.
Band.
what'd you call me?
Sorry.
Oh,
Not a
no.
Not a band.
Game over.
Not a band.
Not a band.
Oh, not a
band.
band. We're still playing for pride, though, Jeff, so hang tight.
Right,
Number
it's-
2, Tony, I mean, boy, you just came out of the gate
Still
sideways. All right, number 2, Tony.
fun. Number 2, Frankie Goes to Hollywood.
Band. Definitely.
Sure, definitely
sir.
a band.
Number 3, Fun Boy 3.
Not a band.
Oh,
Sorry, Fun
Man.
Boy 3.
absolutely a band.
I had a girlfriend who called me Fun Boy 1. FYI.
Yeah.
Next up is Poison. Poison.
Band.
Yes, sir. Next one is Aha. 80s band.
You're going easy on me now. That's a band.
I prefer to say aha, just because it makes it more fun.
It makes more sense, doesn't it?
For $1 billion, name a song by Aha not called "Take on Me."
Singing in the rain.
Oh,
No,
really?
crying in the rain.
No, you were wrong.
Crying,
No.
singing.
I don't know.
The Phoenix Ride.
Really?
No, I made that up.
Oh gosh, yeah. Who knows? All right, all right. Look, 3 for 5 is nothing to sneeze
No,
at. Jeff,
of course
hang
not.
tight. Keep going.
Next up, Chicken Pot Pie Men.
I would say not a band.
It is not. It's made up.
There's no such thing as too much chicken pot
Right.
pie.
Next one, thermostat on the fritz.
Jeez.
Band. I haven't heard of them, but I think it's a band.
Not a band.
Man.
Not a band.
Nope, not a band. And your last one, the Butthole Surfers.
A band.
Absolutely a band.
Yes, sir.
Jeff, man, you hit a juggernaut. Barry was just on his game today, but all is not lost, sir.
Nope.
As the runner-up, you get a 4-pack of tickets to River Days featuring Mike Doty. That's Mike Doty, formerly of the band Soul Coughing, Friday through Sunday in downtown Hastings. That's provided by the Hastings Area Chamber. So congratulations to you, sir. But Barry, you're the big winner today. You will join us on the KQRS Rock the Boat 80s party, Friday, July 21st. We'll be enjoying free food from Lucky's 13 Pub, live music from Rough House, drinks on the river, Paddleford Riverboats taking care of all of us. Righteous. Congratulations, Barry. Good luck getting there in one piece on Friday and having a good time with us.
Wonderful.
Wonderful. That's a man who was like, just stop talking, dude.
Yeah.
Just let me give Candace my information off air. Let me get on with this. I got to get back to work. That's great. Congrats to both you guys. That was fun.
Thank you. Good time, thanks.
Right on. So, boy, that you did throw me, Tony, when you threw out another song title from Aha.
Could have said anything.
Yeah.
I was right.
Is it really?
Crying in the rain.
Well,
yeah.
you said singing in the rain
I
first.
know, but then I changed it, Steve.
But you don't get a double do here. You don't get a do-over.
Did the old switcheroo, did you?
If memory
Crafty.
serves, I offered you $1 million for that answer, so I'm not taking a redo, okay?
Aww.
Aww.
I never really thought I could hate a title more than Take On Me, but you said they did one called Crying in the Rain.
And
Ever pee in the rain? Just like, F it, I'm wet. I'm just going to pee.
Not knowingly.
Yeah.
what was
no,
that?
I
Well, there
did.
was one song, Blue Eyes Laughing in the Rain. There's a lot of in the rain songs.
Yeah. It's inspirational. Raindrops keep falling on my head.
Yeah, see there? I prefer the old standard, just straight up Beatles Rain. That's my favorite rain
How about
song.
Milli Vanilli, Blame It on the Rain? Blame
raining
it
again.
on the rain.
Wow.
It was a great
Who
rendition.
was really singing, though?
Yeah, no kidding. The Tony Lee Cricket is a boy. Is that I need that for my ringtone.
Okay.
Just for when you call. Great news, guys. The war is over. Don't know if you saw this.
Thank God.
We can all go back to a peaceful time. Taco John's, the regional taco chain that had Taco Tuesday trademarked, announced it is ending its fight in defending the phrase, and it will abandon it because it doesn't want to pay the legal fees that come in the battle against Taco Bell. The Taco John's Taco Bell war has ended.
If Taco Bell now uses Taco Tuesday, I'll never go there again. I mean, come on. Really? This is the battle you picked, and it's been going on for decades, and now you've won, and you're going to come out with Taco Tuesday? It's done. It's over. Yeah, exactly.
Taco John's CEO Jim Creel said, "We've always prided ourselves on being the home of Taco Tuesday, but paying millions of dollars to lawyers to defend our mark just doesn't feel like the right thing to do."
Wow. Good job, Taco Bell.
Man, the Bell coming in strong, taking it from Taco John's. Here's my one Taco John story. It's a real quick one. Ready?
Yes.
Food poisoning.
Oh.
Once. Henderson, Kentucky, 1982. I'm sure they've straightened it all out by now, but I'm just saying, never been back. Yeah, see?
Yeah?
Go up to Evansville, Indiana. You play a soccer game. You defend the flag. You win a big road game for the high school, and you get rewarded with a trip to Taco John's. And then by the time you hit Madisonville, you're pulling the van over. You're running into a rest area bathroom. It's a nightmare.
It's life.
God knows Taco Bell never upset my stomach
Yeah, right?
9,000 times. Just saying. That's how that goes sometimes.
Sorry. Must have been unpleasant for you.
It was. Go ahead.
Darn it.
Make fun of me.
Darn the luck.
Sometimes diarrhea is good, though, you know?
We know how Candace is off to Taco John's right after the show.
Listen.
Fingers
No.
crossed.
By the way, it's not sometimes. Every time diarrhea is good because your body's doing what it needs to do.
Yeah.
My body did something weird to me yesterday.
What?
I was in St. Paul. My wife and I were in St. Paul, driving around, tooling around as we do, and I had a seemingly unquenchable desire, an odd, unexpected desire for ice cream. That never happens. I'm not a sweet tooth guy. I mean, I like ice cream. I'll have a bite. I'll have a little bowl sometimes, but I suddenly said, I need some ice cream. And Rosemary's like, "Are you serious?" I said, "Yes. Find some ice cream like nearby." And she found a nice little establishment called Nellie's, and we walked in.
Oh, yeah.
No other customers there, and I go for the mint chip, which I always do, mint chocolate chip. And I said, "I'll take it in a cone." And the girl said, "Well, we put like 3 scoops in the cone. Is that okay?" And I said, "Yeah, whatever." I'm not really thinking.
Who'd object to that?
It was 3 scoops. They were all the size of my head. It was the most ice cream that's ever been shoved into one cone in my life.
Yeah.
And Rosemary's laughing. I go, "God, look at that. This is ridiculous." I felt like an idiot walking out of the store. Walked out, sat down on one of the little tables right there, ate the entire thing.
Good man.
It was about 19,000 calories of mint chocolate chip ice cream. I ate the whole thing. And she's like, "You're going to be sick later." And I was like, "I know, but I cannot stop eating this." I couldn't. It was like when women are with child, sometimes they just need something. And like my wife used to say in both pregnancies, "I just need something that's kind of fried on the outside and soft in the middle." She didn't have taste, but she had textural needs.
Yeah.
Rachel wanted tamales from Target constantly.
Target has tamales.
Yes.
That's news to
Green
me.
chili tamales.
Their own tamales, Target brand tamales?
Yeah, they did at the time.
Yeah.
Or Blizzards from Dairy Queen. I had to go there almost nightly, and I hated it because I'd pull in and I know they were going, "Oh, there's the bearded guy for his Oreo Blizzard again," and I wanted to go,
Holy
"They're
smokes.
not for me."
You had a beard?
Yeah.
Like you said, you referred to yourself as the bearded guy.
Yeah.
So was it a big beard?
Hold on. Rachel's been a beard this whole time?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's like,
No, it's just more substantial. But the point is that they weren't for me, and I wanted to tell them.
I know what the point is. I was just trying to be silly, Tony.
You had a beard at one point.
So
You had a Fu Manchu.
So Target has tamales. That's good information I didn't know ahead of time. But and so all I'm saying is, for some reason I couldn't. My body needed that ice cream, and I listened to it, and I did not get a tummy ache later.
That boy.
So in your face, Rosemary.
Yeah.
It was my dinner. It was like 4 PM. I was not hungry the rest of the day. But oddly enough, it did play a large part in me birthing a food baby later. So it all comes back around.
I never regret diarrhea.
But-
AI.
But boy, I got to tell you, mint chocolate chip. I've still have never come across too much mint chocolate chip. Apparently,
No, I guess not 3 big scoops. That sounds, I mean, you got to start licking. You got to get to work on that bad boy,
Oh, yeah.
especially if you went and sat down outside. You had some hot
and
temperature.
seriously,
yeah.
my tongue felt like frozen and swollen. It was, it truly was like kind of painful. It was weird. I couldn't stop eating ice cream. If anybody knows why I needed ice cream or why anyone needs ice cream, feel free to let us know.
Ice cream cravings. Give us a call on the Maple Grove Lock and Safe Talk next time. We're going to talk to a professional comedian, Nick Hoff. This guy's opened up for Jeff Foxworthy, Larry the Cable Guy. He's going to join us at 8:30. Hang tight.
It's the KQ Morning Show. 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show, Wednesday, July 19th, which means in 2 nights, Friday, July 21st, Nick Hoff will open the first of 2 nights at the Laugh Camp Comedy Club, 8 p.m. on Friday, 9 p.m. on Saturday. Nick Hoff is now joining us on the horn. Good morning, Nick.
Good morning. What's going on?
Oh, the usual Wednesday morning nonsense. Hey, have you ever been tossed out of an event, a ball game or a concert or a funeral or anything like that?
Funerals every single time.
Well, sure.
I like to boo the corpse. I think it's important that even in the afterlife.
It's very important. No, seriously, has security ever laid hands on you and said, "That's it, bud, you're out"? Anywhere?
At a basketball court, like in a pickup basketball game, nobody threw me out, but they kicked me out. Nobody grabbed me physically. No, the closest I came to that was in 7th grade English class. My English teacher just about grabbed me by the collar and chucked me.
And at one point he goes, "Oh, you think you're funny, do you?" And you decided right then and there, "I'll show you."
He stood up. He was the football and basketball coach, just a giant, intimidating man.
Yeah.
He stood up. I was making a scene, and he goes, "Hoff, go somewhere where they'll let you be."
Oh my gosh. So, like a lot of schools, the football coach was also teaching English. That makes perfect sense.
Exactly. Why did you guys get thrown out of a place recently? What's going on?
No, just curious. I don't know. Nick Hoff just sounds like a troublemaker to me.
Okay, no, I got away with most of it.
These are the things that occur to me as we're getting ready to talk to someone who makes people laugh for a living. The Powerball is $1 billion. Do you buy lottery tickets?
I usually don't, but I might.
It's $1 billion. Come on.
Is Minnesota pretty lucky?
So far, it was working for me. I mean, I've only been here like 6 months, but everyone else feels lucky, right, guys? You all feel good?
I don't know if I feel lottery lucky, but maybe tonight, huh?
Is tonight the drawing?
Yeah, it's a big $1 billion Powerball drawing tonight. But then there's the Mega Millions. That's $700 million. It's a lot of money floating around out there, Nick.
That's only like $350.
Yeah, so it's not worth the effort
going down there.
One thing you asked what we're up to today. We were discussing the fact that there was a flight delay. A plane in Las Vegas was about to leave for Atlanta, and they were delayed on the tarmac. It was 110 degrees outside, and for some reason, this particular flight did not have air conditioning. Multiple passengers literally passed out, and some even soiled themselves. This is a true story from Monday on a Delta flight. You travel a lot. Do you have any? Is there one long, crazy delay? Now, I'm not asking you if you've ever soiled yourself on a flight, but delays, do you have like the one go-to, you can't believe this happened, or have you been lucky with your travels?
You know what always bothers me is when you land at a place and there's no parking space available.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
That happened going down to Orlando a couple of years ago, and it was a red-eye flight. We're flying through the night. We were delayed a couple of times on the front end, but then we land in Orlando 2 hours late, and they don't have a parking space for us for another hour and a half. I'm like, come on, you knew we were coming.
That's true.
You had a 5-hour warning shot.
There's nothing worse. I noticed too. I flew to Chicago earlier this year, and I landed, and the plane taxied for honestly, it must have been 15 minutes. I was thinking maybe we'd actually landed elsewhere, and we're just going to get there. I'm always fascinated by that. And then I've had the same thing. You pull up to they're like, I'm just waiting for a gate to clear. And you just think to yourself, well, among other things, I'm just glad I don't work in the airline industry, ultimately.
Yeah, everybody that you're faced with, it is not that person's fault, but yet they are the punching bag for the airline. When your luggage gets lost, that the person standing there had nothing to do with it. They never touched your bag, and yet you're sitting there looking at them like they just spit on your dog.
Nick Hoff is with us on the KQ Morning Show at the Laugh Camp Comedy Club, Friday night at 8, Saturday night at 9. There's a lot of talk. Post-pandemic, there's been seemingly more travel incidents than ever, which is people freaking out on airplanes. People forget what it's like to be out in public. Have you noticed any weirdness post-pandemic with crowds at your comedy shows? Are people heckling more? Are they laughing more? Good or bad? Has there been any real difference?
Right away, it was better. Right away, I think people were just happy to be back out. Now I think we're back to our bitter selves where people are unhappy with their lives. They thought, well, once COVID goes away, things will really be looking up for me. And then it never did.
Well, hey, at least we had we had that perfect little honeymoon moment for a little while anyway.
Yeah, we were all batting our eyes at each other like, look at you, hey, you got a mouth. I forgot you had a mouth under that hat.
Nick, where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Nebraska, small town in Nebraska, Hastings, but it's the birthplace of Kool-Aid. So,
is it really?
Oh, yeah, that'll work.
Kool-Aid Museum and everything.
I imagine you would. So Hastings, Nebraska, not a lot of rock tours come through. What was the first concert you saw, and where was it?
First concert I ever went to was in Lincoln, and it was REO Speedwagon, Styx, and Survivor.
Solid.
Wow, rock solid. What year was that, roughly?
That was in the 90s.
Yeah.
It was in the 90s. And coming through Hastings, we got the guys that, had been around the ringer a few times.
Sure.
The first one I remember in Hastings was Sam Sham and the Pharaohs.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Hey, Little Red Riding Hood. How you doing?
Man, yeah, Hastings. That's every touring musician. It's like a red letter. When you get the Hastings offer, that tells you an awful lot about where you are right now in your
Little
career.
Wayne is there this week.
Right. the Hastings circuit, not once what it could have been. I was in Lincoln, Nebraska. I played a show the first time ever in Nebraska. This is an absolutely true story. A guy showed up from the Musicians Union to make sure we had our cards. And
really?
Yeah, I was in a band. We put our first record out in 1990, and we had to join the Musicians Union right before we went on tour. And we thought that was the weirdest thing. I didn't realize that was even a thing. And this guy showed up.
I didn't even know.
This guy showed up backstage, and he goes, "I need to see your union credentials." And a couple things about him you needed to know. He was a little person. He was about 4'7", and his name was Shorty Vest. He had a business card, which I still have, Shorty Vest, and then in quotes, that son of a bitch from the union.
That's funny.
Was it a smaller card than normal?
What's that?
Was it a half-size card?
No, that would have made perfect sense if it were. But Shorty Vest, that son of a bitch from Union, Lincoln, Nebraska. That was my first concert experience in Nebraska, and I've never forgotten the guy. So there's a little different way of going about things out there in the Husker State.
Yeah, I spent a little time in Nebraska down in Omaha working for a station called Sweet 98. I was just kind of through for a cup of coffee, but I know that you saying you're from Nebraska, Nick Hoff, our guest here, you were out with Jeff Foxworthy and Larry the Cable Guy for their We've Been Thinking tour. You've been on a lot of tours. Isn't Larry the Cable Guy from Nebraska, or did I get that wrong?
No, you're right. He lives in Nebraska now. He grew up there until he was about 13. Then he moved to Florida, where he started his comedy career and lived there for many years. But yeah, he's a Nebraska guy, so we've got that thing in common, like to root for the Cornhuskers.
Funny guys come out of Nebraska, I guess.
Well, we've got Johnny Carson, we got Larry, we've got Adam Devine from Workaholics, we got myself. There's a few of us.
All right, you made it out of Nebraska into the big time.
Yeah. There's not a lot going on, so we got to make our own fun.
Mid 90s, you had Husker fever. I got to imagine that team was running roughshod over everybody.
Oh, we're still waiting for those days to come back.
Man,
it's a sore subject, and now we got Minnesota first week.
Oh boy,
of the season this year.
Don't sleep on the Gophers. I don't even know if that's.
I
don't even know what I'm talking about. I just figured I'd throw it out there and see if I got a reaction from my co-hosts. Nick Hoff is at the Laugh Camp. What's that?
You want me to cry on air? Is that what you're trying
to
do?
No, it's fine. Is there a Tom Osborne tattoo anywhere on your body?
No, but he's from Hastings as well.
Well, hold on. You buried the lead. You're from the same town as Tom Osborne.
No, I didn't know how much I was supposed to divulge. But yeah, Tom Osborne, coach of the Huskers from the 70s through the 90s, grew up and he went to my high school, so we had these giant murals of Tom Osborne on our landing stairs. And you look at that growing up, you go, I could cure cancer, and they're not taking his posters down.
No, not a chance.
Hoff eradicated cancer, but that's 3 national championships up there.
Damn straight. 440 yards on the ground every game, baby. That offensive line was bigger than any in the NFL. Hey, any alien landings in Hastings while we're at it?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Do you guys have them up there?
We did visions, sightings, rumors, but nothing documented.
More after pot's legal here on August 1st.
Yeah.
You started seeing it a lot right after pot was legalized through most of the country. People going outside like, wait a second.
Hey, Nick Hoff is at the Laugh Camp Comedy Club. Not tomorrow, Friday night, July 21st at 8 p.m., Saturday night at 9 p.m. Nick, we hope you enjoy your weekend in the Twin Cities, brother. Thank you for calling in.
I'm looking forward to it. Thanks for having me.
See ya.
Bye.
Solid first concert, by the way. Survivor, Styx, and REO Speedwagon in the 90s.
90s, yeah. They were still, they're still selling tickets, obviously, in the 90s. But, it wasn't like, now the guys are going around. There's a few left in those bands.
Yeah.
REO Speedwagon's still largely intact, I think. Survivor, I don't know.
No telling.
Yeah, telling.
But that 3-band bill in the 90s was, make no mistake, especially in Nebraska, Mullet Fest.
Nice.
You're right.
Yeah, some Kentucky waterfalls showed up for that gig.
Oh, no doubt.
The guy in Survivor, that's the guy that wears the hat, right? The singer in Survivor always had that hat.
Oh, I always want to thank Diggler. What's his name? He was out at Waconia Wine Estate doing a show out there a couple of years ago, and I went out and introduced him, and I forgot. But he was a real nice guy. He came out.
Yeah.
And then, everybody kind of sat around like it was some sort of Southern cotillion. Is it cotillion? Is that a word? I don't know.
Sure.
Yeah, just kind of sitting around like nice and polite. And then Eye of the Tiger came on. Everybody jumped up, went nuts, and then sat back down. But got that going for him.
They got that one that you can never take away the Eye of the Tiger, man. I mean, it's. I think about this. Imagine this: you're in Survivor. You're asked to write a theme song for Rocky 3. Now, Rocky already has one of the most iconic theme songs ever.
Yeah.
The Rocky music. Arguably more iconic than that is Eye of the Tiger.
I know it.
I mean, think about it. They truly hit for the cycle on that song.
Yeah, no
Not
kidding.
only did you have a hit song, but you kind of replaced the original Rocky theme as the Rocky theme. Because when you hear Eye of the Tiger kick in, you just picture Rocky Balboa.
Yeah, you're right. I mean,
That's a neat little party trick they pulled off with that one.
if you're going to have one, have a big one.
Yeah, that's an absolute fact. Hey, by the way, you want to hear about a big one?
Mm-hmm.
How about the KQ Morning Show hitting the road for a long weekend? KQ up north with BigDeck.com, October 5th through the 8th at Cragen's Resort on Gull Lake, baby. Join us for a broadcast of the KQ Morning Show. You can join us for a karaoke party. There's also going to be a happy hour boat cruise. Look out. And live music. Book your stay right now at 92kqrs.com. Sponsored by BigDeck.com and Cragen's Resort on Gull Lake, October 5th through the 8th.
I'm so stoked for that. And we have a boat cruise coming up on Friday. I love the summer. It's flying by.
Pretty good. Yeah, by the way, yeah, flying by. Everyone's like, Steve, wait till summer, wait till summer, wait till summer. It's mid-July already. What the hell just happened?
Hey, I have a question for the three of you. Tony, Steve, Candace,
Hi.
dog owners. Don't answer, though. Do you think your dog could survive in the wild without you? Just set him loose out in the wild. Don't answer.
Okay.
I want your answer when we come back at 9 o'clock. And listeners, you think along with us, too. They did a survey. We'll let you know how many people think their dog owners can claim their dogs would survive in the wild without them. Also, speaking of dogs, it's National Hot Dog Day. There are deals and discounts out there. Hang tight.
It's the KQ Morning Show. 92 KQRS. Zep, Tony, Candace, and Steve Gorman are the KQ Morning Show. 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. It's Wednesday, July the 19th. Or if you prefer, it's National Hot Dog Day. But before we talk about hot dogs and how much I'd love to have one right in front of me, let's talk about dogs. How about that? How about a quick dog chat? Specifically, this is a bunch of dog lovers on this show. Mm-hmm. All of us, if not directly, we are indirectly dog owners. In a new survey, 2 out of 3 dog owners say their dog would not survive in the wild without them. That's
Accurate.
Not surprising. What's surprising is that 1/3 of people say their dogs would survive in the wild without them.
I know, right?
I'm sorry, man. Listen, Chauncey Gorman, great guy, smart dog, charmer. He'd go maybe a week, maybe.
Yeah.
But he does have a special condition.
Yeah.
He's got a lung ailment, and I think if left to the wilds of just nature, I think he'd get sick. I think it would be a precipitous fall. That said, I don't question his ability to fend for himself and get food. I mean, he would happily take a sandwich out of a baby's stroller, but I'm just saying he's got some other concerns. Primarily the fact that he would be walking through a park and looking around going, where's the comforter? Where's the couch with all the pillows? Who's going to scratch me while I go to sleep?
Yeah.
Beyond pampered. Gigi Wheeler, a big part of the morning show lore. Gigi Wheeler out on the mean streets. Yay or nay, Candace?
No, she's only 7 pounds. I mean, I think that she could probably get by for a little bit, but she would just be looking for me all the time. I don't want to toot my own horn, but she's obsessed with me. No, I don't know. She does chase bunnies and stuff and squirrels,
Right,
but I just don't know what she would do when she got it. You know?
She's never caught one to your, as far as you know.
Correct.
I think she might be the bunny or the squirrel out there.
Clementine Gorman, a dog from the 90s, was chasing a squirrel in a park once, which I allowed her to do. And what she didn't notice was that as all the squirrels ran their separate ways, the squirrels were already being chased by a dachshund. And in the heat of her chase, she just zoomed in on a dachshund. And I, from about 30 yards away, I'm going, no, no, no. And she clamped down hard on the very slowly running dachshund. Didn't break the skin, not that hard.
Yeah.
But as she put her teeth on the back of the dog went, and she immediately spit the dog out, stopped, spun around, and looked at that dachshund literally as if to go, how did you get here?
Yeah.
She was so confused. And then, and all was well. But that was a pretty good moment. Zepp, you are a godfather to a dog these days, right?
Yeah, Fry.
I mean, grandfather, I'm sorry.
Yeah, just got the berries removed. He's an Australian Shepherd. They're Tasmanian devils. They're maniacs.
They really are.
They're crazy, and they're incredibly intelligent as well, which make them a lot to handle. And he has to keep this cone on his head for a couple of days. So
I love that.
a couple of days, a couple of weeks. I don't know how it's going to happen, right? It's tranquilizers.
But those dogs are too smart. I think an Aussie Shepherd would survive a long time. They'll learn English if they need to.
They're resourceful.
And they were bred to be just a hardy dog, to live in the Australian outback. Actually bred, did a little reading on them, bred in England, but to be dogs that would survive in the Australian outback out there and run those sheep herds and that sort of thing. So pretty hardy, and we haven't ruined him yet, right?
Yeah.
So he's only like 6 or 7 months old.
Sure.
And I think he might be able to gut it out, after another year with Taylor of, laying around and eating Cheetos.
So probably best we kick him out now.
Yeah, I think
for his own survival.
I think I'll just drive him up north and drop him off somewhere for his own good.
He'll beat you back to the house, and you'll be like, "How the hell did you just do that?" And he'll just give you that look.
I just love to watch him run. I'll just take him down to the lake and just watch him run back and forth on the shore. I mean, for hours.
It's awesome.
He's nuts.
Tony, you got a dog, Lulu.
Little Lulu she'd be very resourceful in what to consume because she's eaten 2 Gophers, 2 pairs of socks, 4 pieces of Domino's pizza. But if it rains or there's lightning, she will hide in the bathtub and needs a little doggy CBD. So
wow! So
Lulu.
good for the summer. Rough time this morning would have been a tough time for Lulu out on the mean streets.
Yeah, she spazzed out today.
Lulu's cool. Bad. I dog sat Lulu one weekend. And I brought Gigi, and when they play together, Lulu thinks that she's Gigi's size, so that's really funny to watch. She's not.
Yeah, she's 50 pounds.
No, she's absolutely not. Is Lulu also obsessed with you, Candace?
I mean, I think she is warming up to me. Yeah, it's going to take a couple more weekends at Tony's.
Well, I tell you what.
For you.
Chauncey's got a little favor for you. I mean, he doesn't act that way for everyone. He's very coquettish around you. Mm-hmm. He's like
I'm gonna look that up.
He's just flirty. He just acts. He goes into this whole I see him and the way he acts around you. I'm like, what are you gonna put on a petticoat? And I'm getting the vapors. Candace is here.
Maybe he's getting a whiff of Gigi.
Could be. It could just be about Gigi.
Because when I go home, Gigi sniffs my fingers and hands because of Chauncey and stuff, and she knows about Chauncey.
She's like, where you been?
I know.
Yeah.
Sniffs your fingers. Hey, do we have a caller, Candace? Do we have someone that wants to talk to us about dogs?
Someone that wants to sniff your fingers?
Yeah, exactly.
We'll see. Darcy from Egan.
Darcy, good morning.
Morning.
What do you got for us, brother?
About 10 years ago, my ex-wife and I, we rescued a little Chihuahua, long-haired Chihuahua.
Okay.
And when they found her, her hair was a lot longer than it should have been. She was all matted up, full of cockleburs. They figured she was probably on the run for about a year.
Oh, wow.
And I can understand why she made it, because before we got her, there was a couple that had her. They had a 10-foot chain link fence in the backyard. And there was a German Shepherd that was walking through the backyard. She climbed that fence, and that German Shepherd went running, screaming, because she had this German Shepherd by the you-know-what.
Oh, boy.
I think I was married to that dog.
Man. She grabbed him by the dachshunds, as they say. Wow.
Yeah, she grabbed them by the twins.
Yeah.
Wow. That's all she ate in the wild for that year, testicles.
That makes sense. That makes sense that a dachshund would survive because they were bred to go hunt in holes and chase
they're
things
badger
out.
hunters. I have 4 of them.
Yeah, they'll get after all kinds of other varmin.
But this wasn't a dachshund. This was a long-haired Chihuahua.
Oh, long-haired Chihuahua. My bad. I completely displaced that. Wow, well, that's even more bizarre.
Yeah, because
Yeah, they said that she was a climber, and we found that out.
well,
Man.
probably how she survived climbing, getting up the hell off the ground away from the coyotes and such.
She probably climbed trees. I don't know. She never showed us that. But.
Wow.
Well, right on. Well, Darcy, thank you for the call, man. That's a great story.
Yep, thank you.
See ya. It is, as I said, National Hot Dog Day. I was thinking dachshund because I'm thinking wiener dog, because I'm thinking wieners, because I'm thinking bratwurst, because I'm thinking all beef frank. Because it's time for me to. Okay, well now I'm not hungry anymore because Candace went wieners.
Yeah. What'd you like on your wiener?
Here's the deal: from Memorial Day to Labor Day, Americans consume roughly 7 billion hot dogs.
Yeah.
That's a lot of dogs, man.
Yeah, it is. What about it? It's a summer craving. I guess, I mean, it was not like Mom said, all right, it's summertime, we're eating hot dogs. Not like I was hanging out on the boardwalk in the summer, you know?
Yeah.
But there's something about it comes around to summer, and even I'm buying hot dogs.
It's just internalized cultural references, your whole life growing up. You don't see people going out to grill in the winter and doing hot dogs. When someone's grilling in the winter, it's a steak or it's some big, it's a rump roast.
And as far as burgers go, I mean, you go somewhere to get a burger, but I don't usually go to restaurants or, bar, even my bar food and order a hot dog. Sometimes a brat. But a dog is an on-the-go thing. That's a food truck, that's a stand, that's backyard barbecuing.
Man, Rosemary and I found a great hot dog place in Northeast.
Frankie's?
Yeah. Yeah.
I used to live around there.
Yeah, we went in, and the guy behind the counter who runs the joint, these are his words, not mine. He's a nutcase. Hey, I'm a nutcase. Guy from Chicago. He was awesome. Hooked us up. It was funny because we walked in. There was no one else waiting in front of us. And we're at the door. And we look up to look at the menu. And the first thing the guy says is, "You want some water?" I'm like, "I'm sorry, what?"
It's not on the menu.
"You want some water? Here." And he just had 2 cups of water for us. And I was like, "Now that's a way to welcome a man into a restaurant. Just give him a cup of water." Yeah, that place was great.
Good joint.
Most Americans prefer mustard on their dog, of course, followed by ketchup and chili. Now, those things are not mutually exclusive to me. I'll go mustard and chili in a heartbeat. I would never get near a hot dog with ketchup. That's just me.
No.
And I did as a kid. I was guilty as a child, and then one day I saw the light, put mustard on a hot dog, and never looked back.
Yeah. Well, we don't know any better, right?
Right.
When we're a kid, but then we get older, our tastes get a little more sophisticated. We know better than to put ketchup on a hot dog.
I love ketchup on my dogs.
Really? All right.
I like all the stuff. I like ketchup and mustard and onions and
dump it on there.
Relish.
Candace, you were out in L.A. recently, and you went to Pink's, a world-famous hot dog stand in Los Angeles.
Yeah, that was fun. I got the Aussie dog,
What's on it?
obviously.
Yeah.
It was a big Polish dog. It was kind of spicy. There was nacho cheese and regular cheese.
Wow.
It was intense.
Regular cheese.
Los Angeles residents consume more hot dogs than any other city in America. That's a surprise to me. I mean, I know it's the second biggest city, but I would have thought, with Nathan's and all the papaya stands with hot dogs in New York, and just New York hot dog is a thing there. The Chicago dog's a thing, but L.A. going for more hot dogs than anybody else. Who knew?
Yeah,
By the way, the Dodger dog at Dodger Stadium, incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, the best ballpark hot dog I've ever had, and I didn't want to admit it. In fact, the first time I went to see a Dodgers home game, I was so angry at how amazing the stadium is. I just didn't want to like it. You don't want to like it, and you walk in and you look, and there's just those palm trees, and there's no humidity, and you're just in L.A. Everything about it, I was like, oh my God, it's perfect. I can't believe how much I hate this place because it's so perfect.
It is awesome.
It really was awesome. There's some deals out there, by the way. Speaking of, it is Hot Dog Day. Nathan's Famous, if you find yourself where there's a Nathan's Famous, they're a nickel today. If you're in Coney Island later today, get on a flight, get a couple of nickel hot dogs. Sonic has chili cheese conies for $1.29. That's a pretty good deal. Yeah. And Target, again, not just the Target tamales we mentioned earlier.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Target's got 25% off select hot dog brands. So, get after it.
Yeah. Congratulate them on their shorts.
Yes, that's a pretty big breakthrough. The world has warmed up enough to allow Target employees to wear shorts to work. So that's a good cop, bad cop piece of news right there.
It's the KQ Morning Show. 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. It's Wednesday, July the 19th. And if you are interested in extending your life, and maybe we should really take this pretty seriously because, as we've noted on this show several times, scientists say, and members of the medical profession say, the first human to ever live to be 150 years old has already been born. With the advances in both preventative and curative medicine, et cetera, there's going to be a 150-year-old human, and that person is already walking the earth as we speak. We don't know who it is, of course. It's not like they designate one person. Hey, Mike from Topeka, you're going to make it to be 150. But someone is, and that person's most likely already been born. If you want to stick around to see who it is, maybe you should think about the friends you spend your time with. And I say that because a 104-year-old man has just attributed 2 of his buddies for him being around this long. I believe we have some audio.
People always say, well, what do you attribute to? And I always say, well, I have 2 good friends. Oh, Jim Beam and Jack Daniels. Yeah, those are my 2 good friends. They help me along.
Arthur Walters Jr., a veteran, by the way.
Air Force vet, Washington, D.C. resident, kicking it at 104 thanks to Jim and Jack.
He sounds spry, you know. He's got his little kick in his voice there. Probably more genetics. I have a feeling if I just really hit the Jim Beam and Jack hard, I wouldn't make it to 104, and I certainly wouldn't sound spry.
Well, now, he didn't say he hits it hard, but he did say he spends time with them. This may be one of those, just a little nip around sunset keeps the stress away, the anxiety away, helps you get to sleep. Maybe you keep those stressor wolves at bay with a little whiskey along the way, and you're going to live a lot longer.
Isn't it kind of amazing how long, I think to myself, it took me to figure that out? If I have just a little, I can enjoy this. If I have a lot, I'm not going to enjoy the next day, and no one's going to enjoy me while I'm having a lot.
Yeah, I started drinking. I really didn't drink much in high school. I mean, a bunch of my friends were, and they're pile driving beers and shots and all that, and I just didn't appeal to me. I had just enough to know that it wasn't working for me yet. I was 20 before I started drinking with any regularity. But I was drinking at bars that were doing, because you're college kids, it was like bladder bust night, crash and burn night. So my initial forays into drinking, it was all about maximizing. It was a $5 cover. I got to get all I can for that $5 of free bad draft beer. And so, to your point, Zepp, at some point it dawned on me, wait, I don't have to hurry with this.
Pace yourself.
I don't have to get out of this. The bladder bust was always the best. They would they would let everyone in, and then they wouldn't lock the bathroom door. They would position a security guard outside each bathroom, and beer was free until someone needed to pee.
Anybody in the joint.
Anybody in the joint. There was a guy stationed at the men's and women's bathroom, and as long as nobody went in there and peed, draft beer was free.
That's God, and
torturous.
You couldn't be that person, right? And then I suppose if you were, then you got a resounding boo.
Well, every dude
crowd
I knew was you did spend time trying to come up with that old school like traveler's friend in the old days. You have the thing in your pants. It goes down to a little. It's like a little tube, and you can pee down into a containment vessel near your ankle. It's strapped to your leg or whatever. We all talked about doing it. No one really did, but the main thing was. And I'm not just saying, it's my experience is it was always a girl would end up breaking through. She would be like, I'm sorry, I can't do this. I'm not going to wet myself.
Bunny bladder.
And for her to get to the bathroom, she would like make a break for it because the whole bar would be going, hold it, screaming at her.
Blocking her.
And she'd be like, I'm sorry, I have to go. And it turned into a whole thing. And I even at that age, 20, I was like, This isn't how we're supposed to be.
This is unhealthy.
This is not good.
Yeah. Ours was the $5 drink and sink, but it didn't have a fun little caveat like that to it. You just drank until everyone passed out.
Yeah,
but we would have like keg. This is the 80s, Candace. We had keg guzzling contest. You'd have teams of 10. There'd be a 5-gallon bucket sitting next to the keg so you could puke it out. But it was the team of 10 that could guzzle a 16-gallon keg. This wasn't one of those, Nancy Boy pony kegs. This was a 16-gallon keg, and you had to drill that. And, it was lunacy.
There was a bar that they had like starving student happy hour, and it was 25 cents for a draft beer in a solo cup, a red cup. 25 cents for a draft beer, and chicken wings for a dime. Which means for $5 you could get stuffed and hammered.
Yeah.
And regularly that happened. That's exactly the point. It was amazing to me how in the 80s our restaurants and bars run by adults were just encouraging us to drink as much as we could as quickly as possible.
I used to do promotions at a bar on the east side of St. Paul that they had 4 for $1. 4 for $1.
Oh, my God.
The good old 4 for $1. There's still a place like that. You can go back in time, Steve, back to the 80s.
Yeah.
Just drive east about half hour, 40 minutes. You'll be in a place called Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Is that how they roll in Wisconsin?
Pretty much.
Badger State don't play, huh?
No, yeah, they come to drink. They take it seriously.
Good to know. We've all had too much to drink, and at some point something happens, and you're like, did someone just smack me in the back of the head, or someone just call me a douchebag? You just invent problems, or any sort of thing happens. That was not the case in France recently, where a woman was enjoying a drink with a friend. They were just having coffee. They were not alcoholically imbibed. And she was struck by a small meteorite.
What?
Literally a piece of a meteor, a tiny little bit, a true meteorite hit a woman sitting at a cafe in France.
I mean, that's got to be like winning the Powerball kind of odds.
It is. She said she heard a big boom coming from the roof next to us, and the second that followed, I felt a shock on my ribs. I thought it was an animal, maybe a bat. And then we saw it and thought, is that a piece of cement? That's weird looking. It was truly a space rock, a piece of space from a meteor that, as it entered the atmosphere, exploded into a billion jillion little tiny pieces. And they usually do just melt away. The heat is so intense. This one little piece made it all the way through the atmosphere, all the way to France, and it struck this woman. It was confirmed. And this is, I believe, only the second documented case of a meteorite striking a human being.
Yeah, doesn't come up very often, does it? The old meteor hitting a human being. Well, first of all, it had to just be just like a pebble, just a little grain of meteorite. Yeah, because she's telling the story.
As often as we hear about aliens, alien abduction, UFO sightings, nobody ever just says, "Yeah, I got hit by a meteor." And but for the second time, someone can say that. Wow. That's pretty impressive. You're right, Zeb. Go buy a lottery ticket. If a meteorite hits you, that's your day. Everything's going your way. You're going to get the grocery cart with all 4 wheels work, and you're going to win the Powerball.
Yeah, no kidding. Oh, this woman, the last time it happened, I just jumped on here. Anna Hodges in 1954, she's got a bruise. Looks like the Rolling Stones' lips, but it's about the size of a football on her lower abdomen where this meteor hit her, but it didn't break the skin. About 8.5 pound, 4.5 billion year old interplanetary traveler shot like a bullet through her house roof at 2:46 p.m., banged into her large radio console, and bounced onto her body, causing the large bruise.
That's unreal. And true story, Ann Hodges had 3 children later, and they were all green.
By the way, you have a better chance of getting hit by a tornado and a bolt of lightning and a hurricane at the same time.
Wow. But okay, the chances of that happening still better than me winning the Powerball tonight?
Probably, but you're still going to go out and buy a ticket, aren't you?
3, 4 maybe. Depends on how much money I have in my pocket at that time. Candace, do we have a caller?
Yes, we do, Steve. We have the man who will be living the longest on Earth. Go ahead, call, introduce yourself.
Hey, guys, good morning. This is Mike from Topeka.
Oh, it is Mike from Topeka. Hey, man, good to hear from you.
I don't know about you guys, but I certainly don't want to be the winner.
Of the Powerball or of the 150-year-old man competition?
Doesn't seem like 150 is a good number.
No? What do you think makes more sense?
Well, if the good die young, I'm going to live forever anyway. So.
Oh boy, there we go.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. That's just with my. Am I allowed to say how old I am? By the way.
Yeah, that's as long as you don't throw an MFer in the middle there.
58.
58. Well, dear God, I thought you were going to say something like 90 or something like that. 58. Are we embarrassed about 58?
I'm 58 next month, man.
Criminy,
Come on.
Yeah. Bunch of kids
The way
sitting around
the
here.
world is going to hell in a handbasket, I'm not sure I want to be around for the rest of it.
Well, I
All
just
right.
think 150 years, we're not built. I mean, my God, I'd be lucky if I get like a year or two of retirement out of this thing. 150 years, I'd be panicking. I'd have to work till I was 140, I think.
I think with the elongated lives that we're all anticipating, we really do need to say, like, all right, we're gonna bump it from 65 to 70, but at 70, just send in your bills, we'll cover them. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Hey, let me tell you something. If I were Elon or Zuckerberg, if I were one of these billionaire guys, you want to get all that bad press. Oh, you want to remove all of it? Just say, everybody on planet Earth over 80, I got you. I'm going to cover all your monthly bills for as long as you hang in. They won't notice. It's a bag of peanuts to a guy worth $250 billion. And then we can all forget that you're kind of a crazy person. Just a suggestion. Hey, Mike from Topeka, thank you for the call, brother. We got to bounce. Mm-hmm. We have to look back while some of us look ahead and think, 150, how many more years is that? I got to call my guy. My IRA is only kicking back. All right. Oh, I'll tell you. July 19th, 1946. Boston Red Sox, 9-2 victors over the Chicago White Sox. Just a regular season game in July, no big deal. However, Chicago pitcher Joe Haynes threw a ball right at Ted Williams' head. It did not hit Ted Williams, but it came in high and tight. And the umpire, Red Jones, issued a warning to the Chicago pitcher. Hey, watch that. An argument then blew up out of the Chicago dugout as members of the White Sox started to heckle the umpire. The ump turned over and said, all right, you, and you're out. He didn't know who was bad-mouthing him, so he threw out a few of the White Sox from the dugout. He ejected players from the dugout for giving him a hard time. The heckling continued, so he had clearly not found the culprit. He ejected a few more members of the dugout. Before it was all said and done, he ejected 14 players, every single member of the White Sox dugout, player and coach, gone from the game. And then they started play again, and the heckling continued. It was a ventriloquist in the stands.
Yes.
It was a guy able to kind of throw his voice, didn't move his lips while talking. It was a fan.
And
that's hilarious.
Man would
Fantastic.
have a grandson named Tony Lee one day.
Exactly
and he
right.
would use crickets on comedians at comedy shows.
Let's have it. You wet that whistle. Let me give me one Tony Cricket. That's amazing.
It's all about Tony and his cricket now. No one cares about me and my loon.
I'm sorry. Did you guys hear something? Give me a loon, Candace. Give me a loon, Candace.
All right.
Come on. Oh, it's incredible.
That was pretty good.
It's really unbelievable. Tony's cricket sucks.
The KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS.